Okay, so we're right in the middle of summer, but it won't be long before the talk shifts back to the Canadian snowbirds. And the question that I keep thinking about, what's this year's US snowbird season going to look like? Today, I came across a vlog from a Florida real estate agent sharing his take on why Canadians are staying away. Not only just staying away, but also selling their properties. Before we dive in, I just want to take a second to thank all of you. I've been so focused on creating content lately that I haven't really stopped to appreciate what is being built here. Just 1 month ago, I shared a milestone on my channel, enough subscribers to fill Rogers Arena in Vancouver, 18,910. I think that's what it is. It's an odd number, but it's easy for me to visualize and picture. And now, as I'm editing this video, this channel has more than doubled. I am amazed and humbled by your support. But most of all, I'm proud that this community brings people together. Not just Canadians, but viewers from the US, Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, Latin America, all of Europe, and even some from Asia. The content I create is my own voice, but I know I'm speaking for so many of you, and I'll keep doing that. I thank you all again for being here, and I appreciate your support. All right, let's get into the video.
To start off, Canadians. I get asked this question all the time. Are you seeing Canadians sell off in mass, Ben? Have you seen a pullback in Canadian buyers? Now, again, I'm probably not the best barometer for that. I'm just one man. And I sell multiple houses a month, but certainly I'm not doing dozens of homes. I have seen an uptick in foreign sellers. I will say that. We have to disclose, it has to be disclosed prior to contract that you're working with a foreign seller, because the tax situation gets a little wonky there, and there's certain protocols that need to be met. So I have noticed that there is an uptick in foreign seller disclosures, but can I say that it's directly from Canada? No. If I'm going to go on some of the names, probably not, but I don't know. They could live anywhere, you know what I mean? So why Redfin is coming to this conclusion is they're basically stating that 26% fewer Canadians are searching for homes on their site across the US this year as compared to last year. And while all home search inquiries are down, this is the most substantial. So it does look like, at least from taking a look from afar, there seem to be less people with eyes on Florida coming from Canada. Does that translate into less sales here? I don't know.
Okay, so I know I'm not this guy's target audience. His audience is probably US citizens, mainly people in Florida or the southern states. And to be fair, he's a real estate agent. So of course he's not going to make it sound like there's any reason to panic. But let's be realistic here. Fewer Canadians looking at Florida means fewer sales. It's just that simple. Canadians aren't just going to ignore Florida real estate listings and then still go ahead and buy property anyways. And since we're on this topic, I've actually had a few of my viewers tell me they already sold their Florida properties. I'll share a few throughout the video.
Don't know if that's a great metric to go by. I will say that my seasonal rental associates have informed me that their Canadian customers basically are no-shows this year. And I have my own suspicions for various reasons for that. But they did say, basically all my one rental associate told me basically all my Canadian customers said they're not coming back this year. And I don't know if they're coming back ever.
All right, sorry to pause again. But every time I hear this from an American business or anyone who relies on Canadian money, I can't help but feel proud. Do any of you feel the same way? Let me know in the comments.
And as you guys know, the seasonal demand for rentals here has been so weak this year. Super, super weak. So that's got to be contributing to it. Stuff that's normally booked up a year in advance is still available for 26. So hard to say if it's translating into sales. I have not seen any Canadian buyers, but I do get one or two a year normally. I have not seen one yet. Well, I've gotten one this year. So I don't know. For me personally, not too different. I can definitely say it's affecting the rental market. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are seeing in your areas. They do go on to interview a couple agents around the country. And one agent from Phoenix, which is a Redfin agent, indicated that she normally works with 5 or 6 Canadian buyers per season. And this year, nothing. Nobody showed up. And she did have one Canadian seller. So they go on to extrapolate that snowbirding in general is becoming less popular across the US. And I agree with that. And you guys know it's definitely becoming less popular here in Southwest Florida.
So this guy's only had one Canadian buyer this year. Just one. But he didn't mention when, so who knows? Maybe it was before Trump came in? I don't know. But he did mention another agent from Phoenix, which, as you know, is another big snowbird destination. That agent usually has about 5 or 6 buyers every year, and this year, 0. A big fat 0. And here's the thing. She did have one Canadian client, but they weren't buying. They were actually selling. Which brings me to a few screenshots that I have to share from our own viewers, Canadians who have decided to sell their US properties altogether. The top screenshot is from one of our viewers named Gary Howard 6755. He's been a snowbird for 25 years, and that ended this year. That $25,000 that used to go straight to the US economy is now staying right here in Canada. And the next screenshot is from our viewer Bera0014. He's an Australian, and he also decided to sell his Florida property as well. I've got a few more screenshots to show you as we go through the video. But first, I want you to hear this agent's excuse on why he thinks Canadians aren't buying in the US this year. Let me know what you think about it after.
Now, whether your reasoning for that is economically motivated, politically motivated, carrying cost motivated, that's going to vary. But I can tell you here, you guys know one of the major contributing factors is the carrying cost. And to come down, buy an affordable seasonal home and justify the insurance and the taxes and the maintenance is becoming a much harder proposition than it historically was. So I think that that is absolutely contributing to some of it. But could this be the other piece of the puzzle, making the housing markets even weaker, that the foreign buyers have pulled out? You know, it's interesting times. Interesting time.
Something about his reasoning just doesn't sit right with me. Now, I don't own property in the US, so I'm not fully sure what is required in terms of carrying costs, insurance, or strata fees, or whatever else. And yes, I get that cost of living has gone up. It has everywhere. But what I don't buy is the fact that Canadians aren't looking at the US because of those carrying costs and fees. Our Canadian snowbirds have been buying properties for decades, even up to this year. Many of them see the properties as retirement homes or long-term investments. My point is, the Canadians who are interested in buying in Florida already have the money and the means to do it. So I'd love to hear from our snowbirds, or former snowbirds, in the comments, and even those of you who are financially in a position to buy a place in the US. Are these so-called carrying costs really the reason you're not buying? I think I already know the answer, but I'd love to see your replies in the comments, because I might actually use them in a future video.
Now, they are saying that the biggest declines are actually happening in large cities, the biggest declines in Canadian searching, with Houston dropping 55% in their search volume year over year. That's for May. Philadelphia dropped 53%, and Chicago dropped 47%. So, interesting. I wouldn't picture, I mean, all those places, no offense, guys, doesn't sound like vacation snowbird territory. So it's kind of a strange metric to use for me, those large metros. But they are saying that basically Canadian interest is falling in every single metro and across the country as a whole.
Now I'm going to stop this video here because the rest doesn't really apply to us as Canadians. But it's interesting that you mentioned some of these numbers. Houston is down 55% in Canadian interest, Philadelphia down 53%, and Chicago down 47%. And I have to say, I agree with him on this part. Every single metro city in the US is showing a drop in Canadian buyers. And that's something I am proud of. It's not rocket science. Our boycott is making a dent in the US real estate market. And in Florida especially, they're on the brink of a real estate crash. So to the snowbirds who managed to get out of Florida in time, well done. And to wrap up this video, I wanted to show you more examples from my channel of viewers who actually sold their properties in a way to protest Trump. Here we have Barbara, who sold her property last year and has zero regrets about that decision. Next, we have a comment from Ionin. He mentioned that some of his colleagues actually started selling their properties all the way back in 2018, because even then, they were uncomfortable with the atmosphere of the US. And the last one is from Sandra Pemberton. She sold her place in Florida, and instead of heading south this year, she spent her time in Scotland, Ireland, and Europe. That's $40,000 a year that probably would have gone to the US economy, now spent elsewhere. So why did I show you all these examples? Because I want to make it clear. We have real viewers who have invested in the US who have now pulled out because of Trump. Not because of carrying costs, not because of the exchange rate, insurance, or any other excuse that people throw around. And here's the bigger issue for the US. They're not just losing Canadian investment. They're losing the day-to-day spending that the snowbirds bring into their economy. All the restaurants, grocery stores, attractions, and other hospitality businesses. They're all losing out on Sandra's $40,000 that she would spend, and on millions more from other Canadians who have made the same choice. Yet we still hear people saying, "Good, we don't need those snowbirds. Less traffic for us. Property will get cheaper, restaurants will get cheaper." Sorry, but it doesn't work that way. The reality is that a lot of these businesses and restaurants will actually have to raise prices just to stay afloat. That or also close the doors down altogether. So I'll close the video by saying this. We're in the peak summer season right now, and that's where everyone's focus is. But come October or November, when snowbird season starts, I guarantee you I'll be reporting on the lack of Canadians heading south. And believe me, I'll be more than ready to create those videos. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button so we can get this message out to more people. Share it with your friends, and if you're still here and you want to continue hearing my voice, check out the other videos showing on the screen now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.